Welcome to Mariner Baseball, everybody. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew on hand here in Southern California. Our second of 3 trips here to Anaheim. And here we go, Andrew Heaney. First pitch to D. Gordon. And slaps it the other way, base hit. That is a good start. 84 degrees on this pleasant evening this Friday.
And D. Gordon being aggressive on the fastball early, which is a good sign. Also that he's at first base. He leads the American League with 23 stolen bases. Kyle Seager hitting 5th in the lineup. He's hitting .279 with 30 RBIs against left-handed pitching this year. And Ryan Healy, 21 home runs on the year. He has been the hot hitter in the lineup for the Mariners. And for Heaney again, he has pitched well here at home, a 2.31 ERA. Pretty good fastball at 92 miles an hour. His curveball is best pitch, 6-6 record, a 3.66 ERA. 106 strikeouts over 32 walks. Opponent's hitting just .228 against the left-hander.
Brings up Gene Segura. 4th in the league and hitting at .321. Only Mookie Betts, Jose Altuve, and J.D. Martinez are in front of him. There's a strike, and it's barked out by Kerwin Danley. Ben Mays, the umpire at first. Lance Barksdale at second. Crew chief Ted Barrett in third.
Watching D. Gordon over at first base. I'm not sure if he was trying to time Heaney or he wanted him to throw over to first to get a look at his move. He's pretty active over at first base.
Slide step action by Heaney. Ball 1-1. Heaney 5 career games against the Mariners, a 1-3 record, 3.91 his ERA. And as we mentioned, this season 0-2 with a 6.30. He did strike out 10 back on July 3rd. Gene showing some bunt, takes down low, 2-1. You get a team like the Mariners, the way they were rolling, 19-9 in the month of June. They come out here in July and just struggling like heck. Their runs per game goes from like 4 to 3. Group-wise, what's the group mentality when you're trying to get stuff back together right when you're in the thick of things?
Yeah, I think that's the important part to it, because so many times when you struggle as an offense, everybody gets so in tune into their own individual struggles. As Segura hits this over to the third baseman, an easy turn for the Angels. As some of the team concept, you have to stay on guys about that because they're trying to fix themselves. And the defense for the Angels, regarded as the best player in baseball, Mike Trout will be in center field. Simmons and Kinsler playing up the middle for the Angels. Jose Brasino will do the catching.
Here is Mitch Haniger.
But I think a lot of times, Dave, to your point, it's getting back to just doing the little things. They did so well for the first 3 months. Run the bases correctly. You need to move runners over. Make sure that you get that done. If you have to lay down a bunt, go ahead and do it. Runners at third, less than 2 outs. If you're struggling hitting with runners in scoring position, make sure you put the ball in play and pick those runners up, and then you can start to gain some momentum back to where they were one of the better offenses in the American League for the first 3 months.
No doubt about it. One number that jumps out at me as Haniger swings through. Runners in scoring position. Remember, we were both giddy. They were top 5.
Through the first 3 months.
Yeah, 16
yeah. So
now.
there was a pretty good track record for them there, and you're right. That has been the struggle. And it's one of the reasons. Look, they're scoring almost a run and a half on average, less a game, and that's a big reason why.
Hitting a .36 the last time we were here in Anaheim, 3 for 22. Here's a 1-1 to Mitch.
Look at the curveball. Opponent's hitting .254 against Heaney on his fastball, just .144 on his curveball. Apparently that hit Haniger.
There we go.
Scioscia is not convinced. See if they want to challenge it, but here it is. It's a breaking ball. You can tell the hit his back foot. He takes off right away. His reaction leads me to believe that that did hit him.
Good. And if it didn't, it's a great sell job. Mike, the longest tenured manager in the big leagues. Here is Nelson Cruz, 2 out, 1 on. He might be the guy that could trigger some offense here. He hasn't homered in a long time. 24 days since Nelly last went deep. StatCast. AI is powered by AWS.
Well, Nelson with 22 home runs on the year. So the good news is typically when he gets it going to hit that home run. They come in bunches for him.
It happened July 3rd right here in Anaheim.
Like a changeup away from 85 miles an hour.
Beg your pardon. That was a game at home. Beg your pardon. Nonetheless, it was against the Angels, and it's been a while. Too long. 0-2. Kyle Seager's on deck. He did go. They check with Ben May. Quick inning, double play, hit batter, strikeout. Angels coming to bat. Has a 6-1 record and a 3.44 ERA, and he's trying to keep a trend going. The Angels are 9-20 against lefty starters. Take a look at the Angels batting order for this evening.
David Fletcher will lead things off. Done a nice job in the leadoff spot, hitting .301 overall this year. Hitting third, Mike Trout, 28 home runs. Again, you want to try to keep him off the bases. Very careful with him. Albert Pujols just passed Ken Griffey Jr. all-time on the home run list. Now 631 career home runs for Pujols.
There's David Fletcher to lead things off. Last time the Mariners in town, he picked up, the rookie picked up his first career home run. Six doubles and a triple for Fletcher. Into the gap, but tracking it is Guillermo Heredia. One out.
For Wade LeBlanc, really pitched well for the Mariners this year. 6-1 record, a 3.44 ERA, and 96 2/3. He has 76 strikeouts, only 19 walks on the year. Opponent's hitting .245 against Wade. Good the defense for the Mariners. Just saw Guillermo Heredia. He is in center field, going to have to cover a lot of ground this evening. Seager and Healy on the corners for the Mariners, and Mike Zunino will do the catching.
Here is Shohei Ohtani. Put the shift on against him. First pitch strike. Ohtani at 279 homers and 25 runs batted in. 12 doubles and a triple. Towards the line, here comes Gamble. 2 away.
Quick outs for Wade. This is the third time that he has faced the Angels. His last outing against the Angels, he went 7 innings, just 1 earned run. And the Angels have struggled against lefties this year overall as a team, hitting just .214. Good matchup for Wade.
Well, here comes baseball's best, Mike Trout. He's got 31 career home runs against the Mariners, the most against any opponent. And this year, he's hitting a lowly .478, 5 homers and 9 runs batted in.
Yeah, 1 for 5 against Wade, and that one hit, a home run.
It's going to be a night. This is going to be a night situation where he's RBI possibility or Hold up the four fingers, get your butt at the first space.
Yeah, again, you have Upton hitting cleanup behind him, and Upton, although a very good player and has some power himself, but against Wade in his career, he's hitting just 107. So I think that's the matchup that Wade will be looking for if he gets in a little bit of trouble and there's a base open for him to put Trout on. I don't think he'll make a mistake to Trout with Upton on deck. Talked about it with Trout. Very good low ball hitter. See on our EQC tracer, all three pitches up in the zone. There's a look at the defense. D. Gordon playing up the middle.
He hit one out last night, right field down towards the foul pole. It was a pitch down and away from him, and it was a low screamer like a 5-iron.
Yeah, they can hit that same pitch to dead center field. It's just dangerous, and we're talking about down out of the strike zone.
2-2. Count has run full. As per usual, Trout all over the leaderboard in the American League. Pitch up high, walking.
He's running a little bit more this year. You have to be aware of that he will try to steal some bases. Angels overall in the middle of the pack stolen bases. They are 7th in the American League. And there's the batting average. Justin Upton, the 107 average overall.
3 for 28. Pretty good hitters. He's dominated.
Upton hitting .255, 20 home runs on the year.
Angels coming off going 2-2 against the White Sox. They open up this homestand going 1-2 against Houston. Mariners series, third and final leg, and they'll hit the road and go to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Mariners play 3 games here, get Houston Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then 4 games with Toronto.
Watching Wade pitch to Upton this year, it's been his changeup that's been the pitch that has given him a lot of problems. Hasn't been able to recognize the changeup from LeBlanc. Just missed with a changeup off the plate.
3-0. Upton 20 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Texas leads at Houston 5-0, top of the 7th.
Pujols waiting on deck.
And that Oakland Ball Club, Mike, in the 5th inning, trails at Colorado 1-0.
Colorado's been hot lately. A's probably the hottest team in baseball.
That nuts.
So hopefully that'll get turned around in Denver over the weekend.
A's in their last 11 series, 10-0-1. 27-7 since June 16th.
And they've won 6 in a row. Just a game back of the Mariners right now.
As you and I were talking yesterday, that back end of their bullpen is something else. Zunino has no play. You got Trinan, you got Familia, and the Trevino kid.
Yep. 7, 8, 9 power arms out of the pen. Bob Melvin can shorten up a game if he wants to.
Yeah, the starters, the load on them is probably, boys, take it easy. Just get us to 4-5. We got the rest. Mariners still have
10 games remaining with Oakland. 60 overall, 10 of them with the A's. 13 against Houston.
You betcha. 2 trips to Oakland. We got 2 trips to Houston in front of us. 1 more here to Anaheim. And Trout runs, swing and a miss. And LeBlanc continues to frustrate Upton. Runner stranded, no score in Anaheim.
changeup. Primera Supermo, and you can see the circle change, and then he'll just help it by turning it over a little bit. See his wrist turn over. And this is the strikeout of Upton. The changeup has been a problem for Upton. 3-2 count, does not give in to him. Well-located changeup on the outside corner to get out of the inning.
Who's going to start a spark in this Mariner offense? Let's see if Kyle Seager's going to be the guy here in the second. Seager, Healy, and Zunino, 5, 6, and 7. It's Andrew Heaney.
Kyle's done a pretty good job against left-handers this year. Overall, Kyle hitting .279, but he's driven in 30 runs against lefties. That's tied for the most.
Ball one that Kyle has good numbers against Heaney, 6 for 12.
He faced 4 batters in the first, 3 first pitch strikes.
Ground ball right to the first baseman. Albert Pujols flips to Heaney, 1 down. He's starting on Monday. The Mariners are going to host their division rival, the Houston Astros. Big 3-game sets to get your tickets to see Jose Altuve and the Astros as they square up with Mitch Haniger and the Mariners by heading to Mariners.com. Mariners are 2-4 against Houston. They've got a winning record against the A's at 6-3, Texas 5-4, and 7-5 against these Angels. Can't get boat raced by Houston.
Well, I thought it was interesting today hearing that Altuve is dealing with a little bit of a knee issue. Don't think he was in the lineup this evening. I don't think it's anything serious, but they're being careful with him. We know how important he is to the Astros.
Here is Ryan Healy having a nice run here. Takes a strike. Healy hitting .242 with 5 homers here in July.
If there's any question, he is going to go well past his career high, which was last year of 25 home runs, already 21 home runs. We haven't hit August.
They did that in 149 games. This is game 103 for the Mariners. 1-1. There's Trout ranging over.
So through the lineup, Heaney really not showing his curveball. That's been his best pitch. He's only thrown 1 curveball. That was the pitch that hit Haniger on the foot. Outside of that, he's primarily fastball changeup here the first time through.
2 out, nobody on here in the second. Andrew Heaney out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Here's Mike Zunino. Scuffling. A .118 is batting average here in the month of July. In 6 games. As you know, he was out with an ankle problem for a while. About the Angels trading Martin Maldonado. I was talking to a couple of scouts, and they said technically, in terms of his setup, throwing, etc., might be the best catcher in the American League, if not baseball. And we've seen his power arm.
Great throwing arm. Does a nice job behind the plate. And when I first saw that they had traded him away, you look at them overall, their record right at 500. They make a couple more moves, maybe move some other players before the deadline.
I asked Mike Scioscia about that. I said, is that a white flag move running up the foul pole? And he said, I don't know. We're going to find out here real soon. Well, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Mike Z.
I don't think it's the nature of any manager to talk about white flags and waving anything. They're never going to give up, you know.
Oh, absolutely not. But I had to ask a
No, I
question.
get it. I'm just not surprised by the response on this side of it.
I wish I could. I wish I could. I had a picture to see the expression on his face.
There you go.
Fletcher gobbles this up. Heaney breezed through the second inning. No score here in Anaheim. Pujols because just recently he hit home run number 631, moving him past Ken Griffey Jr. into sixth place all time. And as you know, this is Hall of Fame weekend. A few years down the road, we'll see Albert up in Cooperstown. And hopefully next year, we're going to see the Mariners batting coach, Edgar Martinez, finally taking his just deserved place among the immortals in this game. Pujols.
For Wade, he was able to record 2 outs on 4 pitches, and then he was really careful with Trout. We can all understand why. Ended up walking him. Had to go to work on up and just hit down the line and stay fair.
Albert thinking two. There's Gamble's throw, and he's in there standing. 16th double for Albert.
We'll take a look. Set up away, ends up middle in, just above the knees. It jammed him a little bit. Soft line drive down into the corner, and for Gamble trying to get it back in quickly. He understands the Pujols does not run well. Another look. Primera Supermo and the changeup. Actually off the end of the bat.
So that hit for Albert, career hit number 3,061. Now by himself, 24th place all time, moving ahead of Hall of Famer Craig Biggio. Brings up Andrelton Simmons, having a really nice year. 8th in batting at 307, and a guy that is almost impossible to strike out. Look what he's done his last 3 games.
He will put the ball in play, and he will be aggressive early and counts most of the time.
Remember that when we were here last time, he swung, I don't think he got deeper than the second pitch in any AB.
Right.
He was 4 for 8 with a home run against Wade.
Quality strike one, right on the outside corner.
Second pitch. Seager gets Albert to retreat, throws out Simmons. Let's keep an eye on that. He will not see a three pitch.
In the series?
I don't think it's a 3-pitcher in the series. I'm going to go with it. Remember, last time we were here, we were just here a couple of weeks ago. And he's
you really have to try hard to walk him, that's
right?
for sure, yes. No, he's ready to hit.
And he's a 314 hitter with 2 strikes, and that's the best in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and it's difficult to get him to 2 strikes. Having a good year.
1 out man at second. Here's Ian Kinsler. Talking about Pujols with 3,061 hits, moving into 24th place, breaking the tie with Craig Biggio. Next at 23, Ichiro at 3,089. 23rd place.
Kinsler 2 for 10 against LeBlanc.
We've seen that before. He is a dead pull middle in. Just yank it down the line.
It's always been that way. He always stands close to the plate looking to pull the ball. Typically wants to hit the fastball all the time. Here's the spray chart. It tells you exactly that. Maybe this year hitting the ball at the middle a little more than we're used to seeing, but 38% out to left center field. That's typical for Kinsler.
Give you an idea how the struggles of Ian Kinsler this year. Just 220 batting average on fly balls. That's tied for the worst in the big leagues. Second baseman's got 247 career home runs.
He has 13 home runs this year, so he can still barrel it up from time to time.
2-1 from Wade. Seager taking a look. Get your tickets now. That's a good looking homestand. Astros, first place Astros come to town for 3 games. And if you don't buy your tickets, all of Western Canada will buy up the tickets for that Blue Jays series.
There'll be some great crowds for the games. So it should be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun with the Giants in town the last couple of days. Almost 45,000 on Wednesday and 40,000 on Tuesday. Three and 2 to Ian Kinsler. Jose Brasino's on deck. He's the catcher. Longest look we've seen LeBlanc have in a long time. Can't get straight with Zunino here. Second trip for the Mariners here to Anaheim. Went 1 and 2. The July 10, 11, 12 trip. And ball 4 to Kinsler. Second walk by Wade LeBlanc. Runners at first and second with 1 out. They take a 9-inning lunch break and enjoy matinee baseball at Safeco Field on Wednesday when the Mariners host the Astros in a special 1:10 start time. So round up your friends, clients, and co-workers. Head to mariners.com for tickets. The other day when I was coming down to the game Wednesday, Facebook was doing a game, and I came down after some physical therapy. It took me a 5-minute trip for me. Took an hour. That's how many people were trying to get in the ballpark. It was unreal.
Good news. It's going to be fun here in the second half.
Brasino, this will be his 19th game.
It's trouble.
Haniger coming on, D going back. Splits the difference. Pujols. Thankfully, he was the runner at second. So the bases are loaded.
I think this is right off the end of the bat. Just a weak fly ball. Mitch Haniger was playing deep, not able to make up the difference. Bases loaded situation for Wade LeBlanc. I think we're going to see some great crowds at the ballpark. The Mariners have been playing well, and obviously in the middle of it. Should be a lot of fun.
Big piece in Sports Illustrated this week featuring Jerry DiPoto. The bulk of it, I did a quick skim before the game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Cole Calhoun. Buck 96, 11 homers, 32 runs batted in. And he rips this one down the line. 1 hop into the stands, automatic double. Calhoun continues to torture Mariner pitching. This is the 3rd series he's done so. 2-0 lead. RBIs 33-34 and his 9th double.
Calhoun being aggressive. It's an off-speed pitch, like a changeup at 72 miles an hour, able to keep it fair down the line and hit the warning track and bounced into the stands.
So runners at second and third. Brasino gets the third. Top of the order, David Fletcher. Fletcher flied out the left center field first time up. LeBlanc trying to limit damage. That is just foul.
Typically, the Angels are going to be a patient team. They are 5th in the American League in walks, but didn't work too well in the first inning, so they're being a little more aggressive here in the second inning on Wade.
Indeed, last 2 hits coming on the first pitch, Brasino and Calhoun.
It's one of the things that we saw against the White Sox, and that's the reason why Wade had to go to his curveball early in counts, trying to get ahead with the curveball, and they were able to take it most of the time. Might see that again.
Center field, backing up Heredia towards the 396. He's there and makes the catch. They'll score a run, and Calhoun moves to third. Butcher gave that a ride. His 12th RBI, 3-0 Angels.
This is going to be in the middle of the plate, trying to get to the outside corner, but it ends up center. Heredia, pretty good play. Had to go all the way back to the warning track. He was playing shallow in center field to make the catch. Gets it in quickly. Calhoun runs well. He was at second base. Tagged up and moved on to third.
Here's Ohtani.
Flew out to left field his first time up.
One. Long arms, long legs. A lot of teams try to pitch Ohtani in. So she was saying when they have missed, he's made teams pay for it. Huge out. Wade's trying to get here. Runner at third, down 3-0.
Pretty good pitch. Didn't get the call on it. Right at the bottom of the strike zone, according to the EQC tracer. The other part of Ohtani, Davis, if you're on the infield, you better not bobble the ball. He can really run.
He's Curly Manley there, 2-2. Checking his equipment. He's good to go. Working that jaw out. Man, oh man. That was a winker up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs with the runner at third. 3 runs in. Way outside. Full count to Ohtani with Trout on deck.
Big pitch for him right here.
You know it. Rangers have extended the lead 6-1 over the Astros. Big pitch, 3-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Damage done though. 3 runs, 3 hits. No errors and a man left. Angels have scored first. store. By the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting rock legends Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo, August 3rd. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. By Jet Closing, buying a home. Jet Closing can save you time, money, and stress. Visit jetclosing.com today. And by Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. Mariners in a 3-0 hole here. Ben Gamble leads off against Andrew Heaney. Heaney so far helped by a double play in the first inning. And went 1, 2, 3 in the second.
Ben has been swinging the bat well lately in his last 45 games, hitting .333 overall. It's off to a slow start at the beginning of the year, but it's really picked things up.
Gamble, Heredia, and Gordon, 8, 9, and 1. Here in the top of the third. And he gets a swing and miss. Arsenio throws down Pujols. Okay, 2, 3. One down. That's the second strikeout for Heaney, and that'll bring up Guillermo Heredia. Heredia having a very difficult month of July at 191, a homer, 3 runs batted in. Thematic of entire ball club. Mariners hitting .232 in July after hitting .265 in June.
The timing hasn't been good for him with the A's playing as well as they have lately, but typically teams over the course of the summer are going to have a down month.
Bet.
And this has been it for the Mariners, so calendar's getting ready to change. Hopefully they can get their offense going again.
How many times have you lived through that where you've seen the whole team with a funk, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, dude, what happened?
Yeah.
And then it turns around.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I can remember is I think it was 95, maybe a number of us were struggling early in the season, and then I think our team started a little bit somewhere in the middle there, not quite for a month, but a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. It happens, you know, and then you start to look up and down the lineup, and for whatever reason, you can't get everybody on the same page. But we would hope that the good news for the Mariners is they have some athletes, they have some guys that can really run, and maybe you can manufacture some runs.
Yeah, whatever it takes, right?
Whatever it takes, yeah. And we've seen Scott even try to do that from time to time, jumpstart the offense, putting the game in motion. Edgar working with everybody. He certainly isn't panicked about it at all. He knows how this goes sometimes. And
The middle base hit for Guillermo on a 3-1 pitch. Second hit tonight for the Mariners.
Well, the main thing, even if it's an individual that is struggling or the team as a whole is struggling, is you have to keep your confidence up, keep pulling for each other, and that's the case with Heredia. David mentioned that he's struggling lately, but base hit.
Yeah, Scott, about that whole dynamic is you always want to get guys. You always know guys are going to cool off, and it's usually 1 or 2 guys, not 8 or 9.
Right.
But he said, you know, as a coaching staff, you know, it's nothing they can do as a group, but each guy has his own thing that he has to get over, play to his strength. He said, and listen, I feel really good about our guys, and we're going to get out of this thing. So I thought that was a good response. Top of the order, D. Gordon slapped the base hit left field. It's a double play ball
He
right
fell
here.
down. Maybe he stepped on home plate and slipped.
Second double play the Mariners have hit into so far through 3 innings as they trail 3-0. second inning, and you can meet Mitch Haniger. Donate to Fred Hutch for your chance to meet the Mariners' star right fielder. Visit fredhutch.org/give. Well, here we go. A home third. Mike Trout to lead off. Walked on a 3-2 pitch from Wade LeBlanc. Hits this one sharply. Eats up Seager. Trout's aboard. Big base hit. And again, Mike attacking the first pitch.
Yeah, they've been really aggressive.
There's Mariners' big deal today, a deal made today, Sam. Tuivailala from St. Louis. We'll have him tomorrow. And viewer question, what does Tuivailala bring to the Mariners?
Well, he has a good arm. He'll be in the mid to upper 90s. Curveball to go with it. He's been really good. Been really good against right-handed hitters this year, right? He's hitting right around 230 against him. According to Scott, multiple innings. He can go more than just one. You'll probably see him in that 7th inning part of the ball game. But again, another power arm for the guys out in the bullpen.
Here's Upton. Changeup got him on a 3-2 pitch. Mariners looking to turn their first double play.
Up to now 13 batters. They put the first or second pitch in play, 8 of them. So very aggressive.
What'd you say? Reminded me of what, last week in Chicago?
Chicago,
right?
yeah, and that's when he started
Remember
throwing
that?
his curveball. He had to slow
Yeah.
him down with his curveball, and his curveball has been a good pitch for him this year, and it certainly was in that outing. Overall, opponents hitting just 167 against his curveball. But typically he will throw it. Nice play by Mike. Typically he will throw it early in the count just to try to steal a strike, and that might be something that he thinks about here.
Upton, good count for him at 2-0. Albert Pujols on deck. Two-0 pitch. Trout has spectacular speed. He's at first. 2-0.
Wade, he fell behind up to 3-0 his first time, but was able to get back into the count with a couple of well-placed fastballs and put him away with the changeup. Already shading towards left center, expecting him to pull the ball in the air.
2-1. Gene flips to D. There's one, and there's your double play. Race those two guys and get down the pools with nobody on.
It's all about location for Wade LeBlanc, and that was a perfect pitch right on the outside corner at the knees. Let Segura handle it. Strong throw from D. Gordon to finish the double play. More importantly, get the speed of Trout off the bases.
Pujols double down the left field line.
It's a changeup right off the end of the bat. Soft line drive down the line. There's the curveball.
Hit by Albert against Wade is third in 9 at-bats. lefty had it perfectly placed. Nice inning by LeBlanc to double play. A big help. Move to the fourth. 3-0 Angels. Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. Buy Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partner in health. Get your guide to living Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org/Mariners. Got a good look there at Huntington Beach Pier. Gene Segura leads off. Segura, Haniger, and Cruz against Andrew Heaney. Trout backing up a little bit.
First time through the lineup, the Mariners with just a couple of hits. Both times they are erased with a double play ball. For Heaney, just starting to get a feel for that curveball. So mostly the fastball and changeup first time through. So Mitch was hit by a pitch. It was the curveball that hit him on the foot.
First pitch to Haniger. And there for strike. Two hits career against Heaney, won a homer. A 1 pitch.
Take a look at Mitch Haniger in the spray chart for him. You can see pulling the ball to the left side, back up the middle about 20% of the time. He can hit the ball in the right field, but primarily he is going to pull the ball to where his power is at.
Bouncing ball, Fletcher. All right, give me your third base analysis of that. That was pretty well done, huh?
It really was. Had a drop step, a lot of top spin on the ball, but able to handle it. The main thing, too, is a bit like Kyle Seager. Watch how quickly he'll get rid of it. Has a drop step in between. He knew he was in some trouble. So, drop step in a quick throw. Haniger runs well, gets him by a step. Nice play. We've also seen him play some second base.
Doing a drop step, did you have to, how many times did you drill that as Nelly stands in?
Well, for me, I would prefer that. I think that if you watch Kyle play, he's much more aggressive at third. He'll come in and try to get that in-between hop and go to the ball.
Right.
His first step and his first instinct typically is to go to it. He'll drop step every now and then, but
I can see
most
how
third basemen will do that.
And you had a cannon, so
Well,
I can understand.
I would rely on my arm.
Right.
But I think most third basemen would prefer the drop step because they just don't have the hands that Kyle does over there. They can't. That in-between hop is a difficult play for them, and they'll hit it off the heel of their glove. Where Kyle, that's not much of a problem. He can just smother it.
Yeah, he really prides himself on that one. That play. Mile high pop, right field. Here comes Calhoun. Kinsler's real glad he was there. Kinsler held his arms out. Where is it? I can't see it. Haney breezing, 3-0 Angels. Series here in Anaheim as we take a look at our IBEW NICA investing in our future. About the Everett Aqua Sox first half Northwest League division champions. Their 6th playoff appearance since 2010 in the playoffs. They begin on the 5th of September. Congratulations, fellas. Andrelton Simmons, ball 1.
That was a curveball, just kind of slipped out of his hand.
He's swinging here, Mike. I'm telling you, he's swinging. Boom. Zanino taking a look. Boy, it's like clockwork, isn't it?
He's ready to hit.
If you're just joining us, Simmons super aggressive. Look at that. 4.7 strikeout rate, lowest in the bigs. 3.24 pitches per plate appearance, lowest in the major leagues. We're laughing because the last time we were here, I don't think he saw a third pitch in any AB during the 3 games. To go back and look at that, but certainly that's in my mind's eye. 1-1 pitch. Stings this one. A lot of authority there, but Guillermo runs it down on the track. 1 down.
Looked as if it was knuckling on him a little bit too. Dave was talking about how aggressive he is at the plate. It's worked, hitting 307 at the start of today, and this is a solid line drive. Already having to change his route a little bit. Typically he's pretty straight, but that ball was knuckling on him. You take a look at the concentration on his face.
You make a good point about him changing. It had to have knuckled because he never changes.
Right.
If he gets on a line, he stays on it. There's Kinsler walking a 3-2 pitch and scoring. All right, in your day, who was a hitter like that? Would rarely see more than 3 pitches.
I think probably one of the more aggressive hitters was, well, Kirby Puckett was very aggressive.
Geez, no question.
Yeah, he liked to swing the bat. That would probably be the one that I would think of first.
Certainly the best, right? Of the,
in
that category.
I mean, he was a 300 hitter every year, it seemed like. And you didn't necessarily have to throw him a strike.
That's right.
He was just ready to hit.
That was the thing. Remember we talked about that in spring training, one of the best bad ball hitters
of
his time. 0-2 to Kinsler. And he got him. But Wade LeBlanc, strikeout number 3, his first strikeout looking.
That's been an important pitch for him, that cutter just off the plate and run it on the corner.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners.
So many times we talk about the cut fastball and pitchers using it to get in on the hands or to pitch inside, and Wade certainly will do that, but The other part of it, and it's rare to see, not many pitchers have the confidence to do it, but to start it off the plate away and have it run back and catch the corner. Hitters typically will see fastball and give up on it. And that's been an excellent pitch for him this year. I think that's something that we've seen some from Marco Gonzalez, something that he's also picked up from Wade. And Marco, terrific year for him, but also using the cutter in that same manner. He'll still pitch inside with it, but he'll pitch away from the righties also. Rangers trading Cole Hamels to the Cubs for a couple of prospects.
How about that? J-Happ going to the Yankees. You mentioned Mr. Gonzalez. We'll see him Sunday. Last time he was here in Anaheim, he threw a beauty. One game the Mariners did win. Marco, a 3-0 victor. 7 innings of 2 hit ball, shutout ball, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and 82 pitches. Tremendous game. Marco Gonzalez, 11-5, leading winner of the ball club.
And there's the cutter inside. Just missed the corner.
.31 pitch, up high, walked him. Wade's 3rd walk. Comes with 2 outs here in the 5th. Brings up a guy who's got a little warm bat. Mel Stoudemire Jr. a little concerned. Calhoun, his last 6 games, including tonight, 8 for his last 21 with 6 extra base hits. He got an automatic double. He bounced one into the stands down near the foul pole, right field, drove in 2 runs.
You mentioned the 3 walks for Wade, and you could see him right there with the rosin bag as he slammed it down behind the mound. Typically, that's one thing that he's really good about, is not walking batters. He knows that that can hurt you. A little bit frustrated.
Congratulations to the boys going into Cooperstown this weekend. Chipper Jones, Vladimir Guerrero, Jim Thome, Trevor Hoffman. Veterans Committee, Jack Morris, Alan Trammell, Bob Costas, our buddy, broadcast legend, 28 Emmys, going into the Hall of Fame, and a writer's wing, Sheldon Ocker from the Akron Beacon Journal. Next year, we want Edgar Martinez to be one of the headliners up in Cooperstown next year at this time. Two outs and a 1-1 count to Calhoun. Calhoun, a 2-run double, and there was a sac fly by Fletcher for the 3 runs. They came in the 2nd inning for just joining us. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for the Angels, no runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Mariners.
Good fastball, ties him up with it. Look at the first strike on a curveball.
Infielders move over to the right. Gene Segura moving further to the right side. D. Gordon in short right field. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Strikeout number 4 for Wade LeBlanc. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the 5th. 3-0 Angels. You betcha. Good catching up with these Mariner fans earlier this evening here in Anaheim, where the Mariners trailed 3-0. First of 3. Hey, when you purchase single game tickets at a Mariners team store, you'll receive 10% off all regular price merchandise that same day. Visit one of the 5 Mariner team store locations to secure both your tickets and your savings on Mariners gear. Team store, go get them. Kyle Seager, Ryan Healy, and Mike Zunino, 5, 6, and 7 coming up here in the 5th inning. Andrew Heaney, couple strikeouts, no walks, he's hit a batter. First pitch to Kyle off the plate. Kyle grounded out to Pujols at first.
Heaney has been pitching well, especially coming into this game. It's 4 quality starts in a row for him. He's pitched well here at home. They had a couple of bad games this year, one of them against the Mariners. 3 innings, Mariners were able to put 5 earned runs on him, but it's been a struggle for him today. Kyle hits that hard.
Oh, what a play by Simmons. My goodness, 1 out. Oh, man.
Absolutely robbed him of a hit. A lot about his offense, but he's one of the best defensive shortstops in the game. His terrific hands. For Kyle, he's hit lefties well, and he hits this right on the button, slicing line drive, and he almost catches it in the outfield.
Well,
in between hop, look how quickly he gets rid of it.
That's outstanding. You know, he rode his glove getting into the major leagues. We saw him down in Atlanta. Remember that? I think his first year. But he's turned himself obviously into a top 10 hitter, along with that just wonderful play at shortstop. Here's Healy flied out the center.
Ryan's been hot lately, especially hitting the ball out of the ballpark. 21 home runs on the year.
8 homers in June, 5 in July. This one a rifle left field, but there's Upton to run it down. A couple of balls hit hard, nothing to show for it.
You can see Ryan thought he had a double.
2 outs. Hey, going to the game, well, it's quick and easy. A quick and easy trip on the Sounder Train. Link Light Rail and ST Express buses. Plan your trip at soundtransit.org. You're here at Angel Stadium, Anaheim. Front of the building looks like. Mike Zunino grounded out the 3rd. A long way down the right field line, giving chases Calhoun, and it is gone. A home run, Mike Zunino. And the Mariners are on the board. It's 3-1 Angels. Mike Z with his 13th homer and 30th run batted in.
Just a great approach by Mike. His first time up, he took a fastball for a strike. He was taking all the way. This time, he didn't give him a strike. And he is so strong. It looked like it was going to be a routine fly ball to right off the bat. Fastball away from him. Skies it out to right field. You can see the 350 sign.
It's a big boy poke.
Yes, it is.
Gamble going the other way. Simmons throws him out. Highlight of the inning, a 2-out solo homer by Mike Zunino. Calhoun had it lined up, but a little too far. Mariners on the board. It's 3-1 Angels. weekend set for the Mariners come home for a nice homestand with Houston and Toronto. Time now for a Geico This State Major League History. Take you back 10 years ago. The great Dave Niehaus enters the Hall of Fame with the Ford C. Frick Award, and man, did he nail that speech.
Never get tired of hearing it.
No, we were in Toronto watching that. I remember Kevin Kremen and Rick Riz, a bunch of people went to Cooperstown. I guess it was a weekend series, obviously. And it was, man, it was a thrill to be sitting in a booth and watching Dave deliver.
Yeah.
I mean, he nailed it.
No surprise there.
No, not at all. But I mean,
he was terrific.
But still, even so, I mean, I expected that, but yet at the same time, it's, you know, the greatest moment of your professional life, and they hit it. I mean, just to hit an absolute get out the rye bread, type of performance. I thought it was spectacular.
You mentioned Bob Costas and Trevor Hoffman. I was seeing something today, and Costas was interviewing Trevor Hoffman. He asked him if he was getting ready with his speech, and he said, of course. He goes, I change it every day, but I'm getting ready. And he said a couple of things Hoffman did that I thought was interesting. He said most of the time when you go and you're doing a speaking engagement, you're trying to figure out how you're going to fill 6, 7, 8 minutes that you're going to be up there. He said here, he's trying to figure out who he's going to thank and has to cut it back again. There's just not enough time.
Reaches out, touches it, shoots it between Gemmel and Heredia. Base hit for David Fletcher. Yeah,
I thought the interesting thing was they were both talking about how it's the main thing that is different is that you're standing there and you realize who's sitting behind you.
Bingo!
All the Hall of Famers are right there.
Bingo! Thank you very much.
There's a little pressure involved there.
Yes, it is. And you know, I think you take a lot of joy in watching the intros too when all those guys come out.
Yep.
I don't mean to name drop, but I happened to be talking to Joe Morgan yesterday, and I said, are you there? He says, I'm already here. He said, all the fellas are here. I said, Mr. Koufax there? I said, please say hello. And he said, you know, Joe's up there. Joe's feeling good, by the way. Joe had some health problems about a year and a half ago. He's doing great. But he flew up from California to Cincinnati, and one of the big boys in Cincinnati flew him up in his private plane. So he was ready for a big weekend.
Well, with Guerrero going in, Mark Gubiza, who's normally on TV, is not here. He's in Cooperstown, and a number of the other people from the Angels made the trip.
And filling in for Gooby. Tiny fouls went off. Dontrell Willis, the D-Train, 03, Florida Marlins. And he belongs to an exclusive club, Michael. 13 black aces, the 13 African-American pitchers who won 20 games in a season.
Did he end up getting hurt? It seemed like his career was a little bit short. He was
rolling.
terrific.
He was rolling. Yeah, could hit, too. Tony.
Good pitch.
Swing and a miss.
Because I can remember him, and he was just rolling along and just having a great career. Just burst on scene, an exciting player to watch, too. Right. And then it just seemed that overnight,
there he is working
his career was over.
Working with Victor Rojas. That's and he does a lot of work for Fox, based here in Southern California. Works with my buddy Kevin Burkhardt, Alex Rodriguez, and a bunch of guys on Frank Thomas, the Fox program. Good man. Nice to meet him. Here is number 27. Strike one. Mr. Trout walked and got a hard hit smash off the glove. Kyle Seager. Be remiss if I didn't name the 13 black aces. Bob Gibson, Doc Gooden, Fergie Jenkins, Dave Stewart, Al Downing, Vida Blue, Earl Wilson, J.R. Richards, Sam Jones, Mudcat Grant, Mike Norris, Don Newcomb, and Dontrell Willis. Some arms there, boy.
Mudcat Grant is a great name, but Vida Blue is, I think, terrific.
And for the longest time, if there was a baseball trivia question, if you didn't know, either say Vida Blue or Babe Ruth. One out, one on. That was a turn one double play. But boy, you talk about some gamers there. Gibby, Gooden, Ferguson, Jenkins, I think did it 6 times. Al Downing gave up the home run to the Hammer. He won 20 with the Yankees. Vida Blue. Earl Wilson, not a lot of people remember him with the Red Sox. Big, tall, rangy right-hander. early mid-60s. Early mid-60s. Because I used to, when I was growing up in Philly, you didn't see that many black pitchers after Don Newcomb. That was a big deal. He was in the American League. Two and two here to Trout. Mike won that one, so did Wade. 3-2.
For Wade so far tonight, you look at his fastball command, it's been pretty good. He's been able to throw strikes at 70%. When you consider that he's also pitching off the edges of the plate and at times trying to move hitters away, that's a pretty good percentage for him. But his changeup and curveball, he's been right around 50%. He's having a tough time getting the Angels to chase the changeup.
Pay off the Trout. Strike. 3 called. Got him.
If you see Tracer had it as a strike right on the corner at the knees.
6 strikeouts for Wade. 2 down.
This is much better. We were talking about the 3 walks for Wade. That's a season high. Ties a season high. Trout didn't like it, but I think he'll go take a look at it in the clubhouse and realize that that was a pretty good pitch.
Here's Upton, strikeout, bounced into a double play. See if Wade can continue to torment him. He's 3 for 30 against Wade.
You mentioned it. This year, the struggle has been on his changeup. Hasn't been able to pick the changeup up at all.
That's hit well. Gamble has it measured. Inning over. 3-1 lead for the Angels. In Southern California, one of the premier series of the summer. It's right around the corner. Join the Mariners at Safeco Field August 17th through the 19th as they host the Dodgers for a summertime series of action-packed baseball. Fireworks and good times, so head to mariners.com for your seats. The Dodgers enter today up 1.5 games on Arizona. Dodgers in first place. Boy, they turn it around after a rocky start. Matt Kemp having a great year. Guillermo Heredia got a base hit his last time up. Base hit to center, raced in a double play.
The Mariners staying aggressive. Ready with a base hit, as you mentioned, swinging at the first pitch. Playing an off-speed pitch down out of the strike zone. Only 45 pitches to get through the first 5 innings for Heaney. With the last 9 batters, 6 of them have put the first or second pitch in play. The only one that really paid off for was Mike Zunino with the home run on the first pitch.
Look out. 2-1. Aggressive swing, 2-2. Guillermo to be followed by D. Gordon and Gene Segura. Hey, good news today. Paxton threw a bullpen. Said he woke up, didn't feel any pain, no stiffness. He said not feeling for it. He threw about 32, 33 pitches. Nothing holding. He said nothing holding me back. So he's doing a lot of core work, icing afterwards. He said the heat that we're experiencing down here in Southern California is good for him. And he'd never had a back problem before. Where did it happen? It happened here last time. He got pulled out. Last time we were here, he got pulled out of the game early on as Guillermo called out on strikes.
Well, the key to that, if he threw the bullpen today, is going to be tomorrow. Remember, he threw a bullpen at Safeco on Saturday. He felt fine, and then Sunday is when he was sore again, and that's the reason why he ended up missing his next start. So hopefully good news tomorrow.
Back on July 12th. Not Mars, that's the moon, and I'm told that not in North America, but in other parts of the planet, a lunar eclipse was seen. Say it's not Mars because, what was it, they discovered, they believe, there's some water on Mars the last couple of days. Mars is about as close as it's been to close as it's been in a long time to Earth. If you get your telescope out, start searching. 1-1 to D. I'm laughing because I remember in the White Sox series, the third baseman was breathing down his neck. He must have come down halfway down the line.
It seemed as he was almost even with the mound. That's how close he was. Basically the distance in half, probably 45, maybe 50 feet away from home.
Back in a normal third base spot here with a 1-2 count. They got him to chase.
And starting to mix that curveball in a lot more.
Senior throws him out. Another K2-3. Fourth strikeout. A quick 2 outs.
Jonathan Scope with the Orioles is homeward in 5 straight games. Remember the start that he was off to was just miserable in April, but he's really turned it around.
And I'm surprised he's still in an Oriole uniform. But the Yankees get Britton and Happ. So that we were talking, who's bullpen? Oh, we were just talking about the A's bullpen. Here's Gene going the other way. Calhoun coming on. Wow, nice play. Covers from right field. Heaney 1-2-3 in the 6th, the 3-1 lead. Home runs. He just, oh, doggone it, he passed Junior. No. Too soon. You guys are right. That's funny. Here is the future Hall of Famer. He'll be joining Junior at Cooperstown before long.
That was interesting to see Jim Thome right there, right underneath Junior's name going in.
He can mash.
612 home runs for Thome.
And still, Jim Thome, one of the nicest human beings you could meet in any walk of life.
Agreed.
It's fun to watch on MLB Network. They got a lot of good guys with them, too.
I remember all the way back when he was breaking in as a third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was the first one. Cleveland was one of the clubs of their young players to sign them all early, to take away some of their arbitration and free agency. I think he was the first one out of that group. Very good Indians team, but he was the first one to get that contract.
Down the line, fair ball. Seeger knows he has time, throws out Albert, one away. One down here in the sixth. Seattle Mariners baseball here in Root Sports, brought to you by Money Tree. Proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Jack in the Box, try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough, new from Jack in the Box. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by BNSF Railway, sponsor the BNSF Blast. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew with you. Good to have you with us. Bottom 9, Texas, 11-2 at Houston.
Now we'll take a look at Kyle Seager. This is something that you're going to rarely see. See how deep he is? Now watch him go down almost to a knee right here. He does go to a knee. And the reason why is because he kind of had a tricky hop. But typically Kyle, we mentioned how aggressive he's going to be, but with Albert Pujols running.
Seager gives to Segura. Just gets Simmons.
Kyle just wanted to make sure that he made the catch because it wasn't going to be a problem to throw him out. So far, you've been right, Dave. He hasn't seen 3 pitches yet.
It's unreal.
Kyle towards the line, not able to range over, but the good news is Segura right there with the strong arm.
2 outs here in the sixth. Ends up being Kinsler, walked and scored in the second, struck out, looking on an 0-2 pitch in the fourth. Final, Astros lose to the Rangers 11-2 in Houston. And the A's trail at Colorado 3-1. Look at this, down the line, hooked in foul. Kinsler, 22 career home runs against the Mariners.
Well, we mentioned it with him. He stands close to the plate. He wants the ball inside. He likes to pull just about everything, and he just misses a home run. That might have been on the cutter. His batting stance, nothing has changed over the years for him.
Count at 1-1. Comebacker, nice job by Wade LeBlanc. A little underhand flip and a nice crisp inning for Wade. We're through 6, 3-1 Angels. welcome you back to Mariner Baseball. Time now for Jet Closing easy-to-use standings. Texas Rangers checked in with a big win at Houston, so that helps the Mariners. And the Athletics are trailing at Colorado. Mariners got to get some offense in gear. This is a good time to start right now with Haniger, Cruz, and Seager coming up.
Well, along with a lot of the close games the Mariners have played and won, part of their signature is the 7th inning or later. So here we go. 7th inning, Mitch Haniger, middle of the lineup. Mitch Haniger going to lead it off. Then it's Nelson Cruz, Kyle Seager. But they've scored a lot of runs late this year.
Mitch hit by a pitch and grounded out to third. Chopper, Simmons. Another fine play by the Angels shortstop, one out.
It's another one of those shortstops to where typically he gets rid of the ball quickly and throws everybody out by half a step. But when he needs to get on it, he has a really good throwing arm, as you can see right there, throwing on the run with something on it.
Mariners hitters 2 through 6 in the order, 0 for 11. The rest of the lineup is 3 for 9. Struggles continue.
Nelson 0 for 2.
Strike one to Cruz, strike out and fly to right. Boy, the drought for Nelly, 24 days since his last home run. It came against the Angels back home in Seattle. 1-1. This one hit hard. Taking a look at Trout, and there it is! Boom! Stick, baby! Nelson Cruz with a home run to make it a 3-2 ball game. Vernelli's 23rd home run and RBI number 58. Blistering line drive, get it out of here.
Well, we were just an at-bat early, I guess. We thought he was due. Ended up flying out to right field, and then this time hits it over the fence in right. Not an easy thing. That's a tall wall that they have in right field. Looks like a breaking ball on the outside corner, and he barrels it up.
That's hit hard, boy.
A couple of solo home runs put the Mariners right back in the ball game.
Zunino got the first home run back in the 5th with 2 outs. Seager, high fly ball, center field. Trout giving tracking. Oh, he did it again. Come on. Mike Trout, another sensational play in center field. You got to get it out of here. Goodness
Take a
gracious.
look at Nelson. We were talking about how aggressive the Mariners have been. This is Nelson Cruz, 3rd pitch of the at-bat on the outside corner with the curveball. And then, of course, Kyle Seager trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and there's Mike Trout.
Jeez.
Yeah, we've seen that too many times. Thought maybe we had a tie ball game. Kyle's been robbed his last 2 times up. It was Simmons that robbed him of a hit, and now that one.
Did.
It's perfect timing on his jump, give himself enough room so he doesn't get too close to the wall.
Added a different notation on that scoring play in the scorebook, Mike, and it begins with a W.
Ryan hit the ball hard his last time up. Line drive in the left center.
Hit it hard.
Upton was able to run it down. Getting loose in the pen for the Angels. Meaning now it's 63 pitches.
That stung, backhanded by Kinsley. Quick inning, but the Mariners get a run. Cruz with a home run is 23rd, first in 24 days, needed it. Mariners draw closer. play today. Fine weather down here in Southern California in Anaheim. First game of a 3-game set. Couple of home runs brought the Mariners closer. 3-2 Angels, and Wade LeBlanc's night is done.
Well, for Wade, he had struggled at times with his command, and overall 84 pitches, 48 strikes for him, so right around 57%. Angels scoring in the second inning, all 3 runs, but after that, Wade was able to settle down, keep the score right there, and give the club a chance to get right back into the ball game. So 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, they were earned. At 3 walks, that ties the season high for him. 6 strikeouts, again, 84 pitches, 48 strikes.
Time now for Beacon Plumbing. Call to the pen.
We'll bring us Nick Vincent out of the bullpen. 34 appearances on the year, ERA just under 4, 29 strikeouts and 29 in the 3rd inning. Opponents hitting .242 against Nick.
First hitter is Jose Briceño.
Nick, his fastball will be right around 90 miles an hour, cutter at 87, and a slider.
It'll be Briceño, Calhoun, Fletcher, 8-9-1 against Nick.
Cutter on the outside corner at 87. Quickly ahead. 2-0-2-1-2. A lot of the times he will try to go to the top of the strike zone, get you to chase. A good 4-seam fastball, 90-91 miles an hour. Or you can go with the cutter off the plate away. Set up inside and a high target.
Two. Rockies beat the A's 3-1.
Great news. The A's had won 6 in a row going into that game. And that's why I felt that this right here is going to be an important series for the Mariners. The Rockies are really playing well. They're only a couple of games back, so it's important to them.
Well, we've seen our share of the Rockies in these 2 weekends. Well,
exactly.
Lose 5 out of 6.
Well, that's why I think there's a good chance for the Rockies to do some damage to the A's, and you'd like to win your games if you can. Short road trip for the Mariners, just 3 games here, and they'll be right back home.
You get to look the Astros right in the eye.
It'll be an interesting part too. We mentioned the start of today, the Mariners with 60 games remaining, 10 of them with Houston, 13 with Houston, 10 with the A's.
All right there in front of him. 3-2 pitch from Vincent, and he lost it.
Angels 5th in the American League in walks, so a patient club. Veterans in their lineup.
Nick Vincent with just his 2nd walk this month, and this is 6th game. Struck out 5 here in the month of July. Here's Calhoun. Bounced the double with the bases loaded into the right field stands. Struck out in the 4th. Towards the back foot. Ball 2-0. Calhoun on a tear his last 12 games, hitting .333, 6 homers, 12 runs batted in. Back outside, 3-0. Take a look at updated standings. Here we go. Astros give half a game back to the Mariners, and Mariners pick up a half game on the Athletics. wild card chase. About Aaron Judge going to miss minimum 3 weeks. Could be as many as 6 or 7. Broken bone in his hand. Hit by a pitch in yesterday's game.
Also be interesting to watch and see what happens with Altuve. We were talking about that. Not in the lineup for Houston tonight, having a knee issue. Not sure that it's a serious thing, but he's missing games here and there. It certainly helped the Mariners.
(3-1) to Cole Calhoun. Hit it hard and foul past the diving Healy.
Trying to stay in on his hands. 5 pitches, 4 of them right on the inside corner. If you look at the QC tracer, all the pitches are. Most of them cutters in on his hands.
3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Angels. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Mariners. Couple home runs, Zunino and Cruz for the Mariners. High fly ball. Short right field. Here's Haniger. 1 out, 1 on here at the bottom of the 7th. Time now for our CenturyLink. What's next? Felix Hernandez gets start number 21 tomorrow. Goes against Jaime Maria. Felix looking to knock down that ERA. 5.14. Still having his first inning problems with that ERA. They could use a big performance tomorrow in Game 2 in this series. Top of the order, David Fletcher. Fly out the left center field. Sacrifice fly to center and a base hit to left. First pitch strike from Nick Vincent. James Pazos, Mariners power left-hander. Throwing the ball well.
He is getting loose in a hurry with Ohtani waiting on deck. Left-handed hitter.
Keeping him close. Inside.
Jason Bradford also getting loose in the pen with James Pazos.
Tomorrow the Mariners will meet and greet Santui Velala, picked up today from the Cardinals in a deal for a minor leaguer. Runner goes, and D. Gordon's right there. They'll get a tag, and there's double play. The inning is over. And Murcino on the move to the 8th. Bottom third of the order to see if Mike Zunino can get another knock along with Gamble and Heredia. Responsible for the Mariners' first run. That was coming back in the fifth. Time now for T-Mobile's built for baseball.
Swinging on the first pitch fastball right on the outside corner, goes the other way, and thought maybe it was going to be a fly ball 350 feet into the stands. For Mike's 13th home run, but more importantly, that put the Mariners on the scoreboard. That was their first run that they scored back in the fifth inning.
Nelson Cruz in his seventh, his first home run in 24 days, making a one-run game. Here's Mike Zunino, and how about Haney? Before that pitch, 64 pitches.
Through seven.
The most by an Angel pitcher since Bert Blyleven in '89. Fewest since '89, and the fewest this year by a starter.
Well, the Mariners have been really aggressive with him, and again, the game plan was to try to get to his fastball before he was able to work his curveball, and opponents hitting a $140 off of his curveball. So the downside to that is you can make some quick outs. He's also been fortunate some balls have been hit hard today and right at some people. You have to give him a lot of credit. He's been around the strike zone, and the first time through was basically fastball changeup, and then the second, third time through the lineup, he's worked that curveball in there. Nelson Cruz hit the curveball out of the ballpark.
Mike, line drive going back over the head. He can't find it up there. Can't find it in extra bases for Zunino. Tying run is at second base here for the Mariners in the eighth inning. Mike Zunino breaking out with a two-hit night, 2 for 3. It's his eighth double.
Well, with some of the struggles the Mariners had, this could be a huge lift for them if Mike can get hot. And he's having a good night tonight. Right on the button, line drive, turns Upton around. So a couple of extra base hits as Upton, see him right here now, have to turn all the way back around. Hard he hit it, but a couple of extra base hits for Mike.
That is a good sight to see Zunino.
It'll be a great thing to see, and now Gamble's going to have to just move him over.
Mike came in hitting just a $118 in July. Now Gamble struck out first time up and grounded out to short. First time the Mariners have had a runner reach second base.
Fletcher in at third.
Watch the exit velo in this thing here. That ball scorched.
112. For the Mariners, if you're keeping track of that exit velocity of 95 or better, the Mariners have hit the ball 9 times. That's only the 4th hit. Some bad luck for him too. Right now Gamble has to move him along.
So Robles warming up for the Angels. Ben pulls it, gets the job done. Zunino to third with 1 out. Nicely done by Ben Gamble as we check in with Jen Mueller. All right, Jen, thank you very much. Pinch running at third, Andrew Romine. Here's Heredia drawn in infield. Guillermo 1 for 2 tonight. This might work. It does! Tie ball game! Guillermo Heredia checking in with a 2-hit performance tonight and an RBI. And we got a new ball game at 3-3.
I was just talking about exit velocity. I'm not sure what it was on that one, but it's starting to even out a little bit.
13th RBI.
Yeah, right on his hands, jams him, but with the infield in, he'll take the base hit to tie this ball game up. Kinsler was not able to get back in time. It's 59 miles an hour, and it's a beautiful thing.
So a 3-3 game now. Top of the order, D. Gordon.
Second base hit for Heredia. Good sign from the bottom of the lineup.
Base hit in the third to center field. Good speed out there, 1 out. And he takes strike 1. Mariner RBIs tonight. Home run Zunino, home run Cruz, and a bleeder by Guillermo Heredia gets the job done.
Bottom 3 in the lineup are 4 for 9, couple of runs scored, and they've driven in 2. Good production from the bottom of the lineup.
Tip of the cap again to Ben Gamble, pulling the ball to the right side with a runner at second, nobody out, move the runner up.
That's something we were talking about at the beginning of the game, Dave, when the struggles that they've had. It's the little things that you have to get done, and they were able to do that here in this inning.
Oh, 2 strikes to D. It's the first multi-hit inning for the Mariners. Base hit by Zunino, base hit by Heredia.
You can see the Mariners very aggressive tonight. And just 75 pitches for Heaney working here in the 8th inning.
And that'll work. Base hit. D. Gordon. Heredia will slam on the brakes. So does D. D was paying attention to Heredia. He didn't run up his back as Upton gets it back in. 3rd hit of the inning.
Inside out swing, trying to climb the ladder on a pitch, ends up in the middle of the plate. D wasn't sure that it was going to be fair. Out of his reach. Good decision by Heredia too. That's one of the other things. Run the bases, and he made the right decision. He would have been thrown out at 3rd. Charles Nagy, the pitching coach, making a trip out to the mound. A good opportunity for Segura, waiting on deck. Jane looking for his first base hit, 0 for 3 tonight.
Talking about Jim Thome earlier, Charles Nagy on the Cleveland Ball Club. Lost the World Series back and was at 0-3 to Marlins and Dontrell Willis, who's next door to us. Chance for the lead here for the Mariners. Segura hit a sinking, hard hit line drive right field that Cole Calhoun made a nice play on in the 6th to end the inning.
It's one of the things we were talking about with the Mariners, the strength of their scoring from the 7th inning on, and always want them to wait around that long, but it's worked, and here they are again with a tie ball game.
Takes Wade LeBlanc off the hook. First pitch here to Gene. Good speed out there. Looks at ball 1.
I think deservedly so.
Yeah. No question. Wade 6 innings, a 5-hit, 3-run ball, 3 walks, and 6 Ks.
He had the battle tonight, but he was able to keep his club in it.
See Gene on top of that list.
Alex Colomé getting loose in the Mariner pen.
Really good speed out there. If he could gap one, that'll be 2 runs for sure. Ready at second, D. Gordon at first. He's got a 1-1 pitch. Holding foul. He's tough to defend.
He is. Fouled one over the first base dugout. Now that one down the third base line. I'm looking at the outfielder shading him to hit the ball the other way, and Upton more towards left center. So on a ball like that one right there, if he hits it down the line, D. Gordon will score.
Up on that bat just a little bit more. 1-2 pitch. Did he go? He did.
He chased a curveball. That's Heaney's best pitch.
5th strikeout for Heaney.
A couple of fastballs and then right back with the breaking ball in the dirt. Not able to check his swing. Good play by the catcher to keep it in front of him.
The Mariners looking for a 2-out knock here from Mitch Haniger, who is 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch and a couple of groundouts. One to third, one to short.
Leads the team with 67 RBIs.
Slow roller. Fletcher throws out. Good news, Mariners tied on Heredia's single. They leave a couple to the bottom of the 8th in a 3-3 game. The 7th, the 8th, good innings as they have worked it to a 3-3 ball game. MLB TV, MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $82.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes an MLB at-bat premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. So visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer. Couple changes for the Mariners, one of them being the new pitcher, Alex Colomé, will be throwing to Chris Herman, the new catcher.
46 appearances on the year, a 3.77 ERA, 44 strikeouts in 43 innings. Good number for him right there. Almost hitting 253 against Alex. Fastball, 95 miles an hour with a slider. Chris Herman will take over behind the plate. Andrew Romine pinch running for Mike Zunino, who had a good night. Mike with a couple of hits, and now Chris getting a chance to catch.
Since the second inning, Angels been held to no runs on 2 hits. Just 2 for 15 in that span. There's Ohtani, Trout, and Upton. Ohtani tonight. Fly to left, struck out swinging, 0 for 3. There's strike 1-1. Seager resets at a deep shortstop with Segura over on the right side along with Gordon and Healy. 1-1 here.
Justin Anderson getting loose in the Angels bullpen. Hard throwing right-hander. Good look at the defense. Ryan Healy right on the line trying to stay away from the double. All the outfielders are deep.
Three and 1 to Ohtani leading off the 8th.
It's tough. He has some pop in his bat. So you want to make a quality pitch, but Mike Trout is waiting on deck. You also want to stay away from the walk. situation.
Ripped right there to D. Gordon, 1 out. Boy, did he muscle up on that one.
Test the webbing in his glove.
Boy, and you want to talk about some defensive play? Again, 27 does a heck of a job here. Just complete robbery at the fence, taking away a possible home run from Kyle Seager. Second out in the 7th inning. Hey, Mike, just another day in Anaheim.
Yeah, it really is. And 1 for 2. He's walked, had a base hit. He starts him off with that cutter slider at 90 miles an hour.
Trout 3 for 10 against column A, 2 long balls. Chase, 2. Trout came into tonight's game against the Mariners this season, 22 for 46, 478, 5 homers and 9 runs batted in. 1 for 2 tonight. Try there, 1 and 2.
It was a good veteran move by Colomé. Receiving the sign, really waiting a long time, and I just don't think that he was sure about it, so he stepped off the mound. Let's do it again, find the pitch that he wants to throw so that he throws it with conviction, and missed.
Beauty, got him looking. 2 down. First K, and stick around after the game for Mariners post game presented by Alaska Airlines. Jed Mueller and Ryan Nolan-Smith will be with you for that. 2 outs here in the 8th. Brings up Justin Upton. 0 for 2 career against Colomé. Upton struck out, hit into a double play, fly to left. Chris Herman catching, Seager, Segura, Gordon, and Healy. The rest of the infield with Gamble, Heredia, and Henniger. In the outfield, Nelly Cruz, the DH. Running up batteries in their cell phones with the flashlight on. It's, you know, 70s rockers going to concerts. That's when you used to hold up the match at the end of concerts. A little bit different right now. It's like a whole bunch of fireflies here. Two and 1.
Challenge him with a good fastball, top of the zone at 95 miles an hour. To get him out with the slider.
Long foul. 2 and 2, 2 out, nobody on. Mariners in the top of the 9th. Cruz, Seager, and Healy. 4, 5, and 6 in this 3-3 game.
Kyle guarding the line at third. Outfielders are all just in front of the warning track.
2-2 pitch. Runs full. Seagers looking for their 9th win here in the month of July. Got to go 4-1 to avoid the first losing month of the season.
Albert Pujols waiting on deck. He's challenged him with a couple of fastballs at the top of the zone that were fouled off. 3-2 count. May go back with the slider. We'll see.
Big pitch here, 3-2. Tied ball game. Base hit.
Comes into the fastball again in the middle of the plate. Able to barrel that one up. Bring Pujols to the plate.
Go ahead run at first. Pujols is 3 for 9 with a homer against Colorado.
Well, 95 miles an hour, trying to get to the outside corner, but it's center cut. Upton drops the barrel on a solid line drive base hit into left.
Pujols tonight. Double down the left field line. Ground out the second in the shift. And a ground out to Kyle Seager at third. 3,061 hits, 24th all time. I saw Kerwin Danley's right shoulder flinch just a little bit on that one.
It was borderline top of the strike zone. He thought about it.
No hole. Big out right here. 2-0 to Pujols. Strike 2-1.
Again, the outfielder's right in front of the warning track, trying to stay away from the double. Don't want an extra base hit to beat him. Kyle's on the line and almost in the grass.
Mariners have had their share of help tonight. Texas 11-2 over Houston. Colorado beat the Athletics, ending their 6-game win streak. 3-1 final. Painted the corner, 2-2.
Quality strikes. Albert didn't like it, but pretty good pitch. 95 on the corner. I think if Segura was a couple of steps deeper, he'd be a rover out there.
Seriously.
I mean, that's as deep as I've seen him play all year.
Yep. He's got to be, what, 10, 15 paces out there. Another big moment here. 3-3 game, 2 out, and a 2-2 pitch. Segura steps into the throw, gets Albert, and that'll do it. Here we go, top 9. Cruz, Seager, Healy coming up. That sounds like some runs. Let's see if they can do it. battled their way back to tie it up. Hey, Monday is going to mark your next chance to take advantage of Mariners value game savings thanks to BECU. Fans can score select bleacher or view seats for $15 and main or club seats for $30. When the Mariners host the Astros at 7:10, head to mariners.com/value for tickets. Andrew Heaney. Mariners finally got to him and tied this ball game up.
He was efficient, had great command tonight, had the good curveball that we've been talking about. There's a curveball to Gamble. Already, despite that strikeout, having a good night, a couple of hits for him. Then he gets Gene to chase. That was back in the 8th inning. Overall, 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs. They were earned. Didn't walk anybody, 5 strikeouts. He threw 81 pitches. 81 pitches through 8.
That is a rarity in today's ball game. Hansel Robles takes over.
30 appearances on the year, a 4.13 ERA, 37 strikeouts in 32 2/3. He's given up 8 home runs. Average fastball this year, 96 miles an hour as a slider.
Nelson Cruz, homer to right center field, a line drive. And Nelly muscles this one. Drops it in front of Upton for a base hit to lead off the Mariners' 9th.
And I'll take a look at the fastball. Again, his average fastball, 96, 97 miles an hour. Jams him a little bit, but he's so strong. Fights it off for a base hit. Denard Span out of the dugout. He's going to pinch run for him. Vogelback, the only one left on the bench for the Mariners. Kyle deserves a base hit. We've shown it a number of times. Trout robbing the home run from him. Simmons took a base hit away from him at shortstop. Hit the ball hard tonight.
Oh, man.
Doesn't have anything to show for it.
Just joining us, one of those typical Trout up high over the fence, take extra bases, if not a home run away from him last time up.
Kyle with 16 home runs on the year, 57 RBIs.
First time Kyle is seeing Robles.
Traded to the Angels, 14 appearances, a 2.77 ERA, so he's really pitched well for the Angels. It was a struggle for him with the Mets, ERA at 5. A good count for Kyle. Nicasio, Diaz both getting loose. And their score, it will be Diaz, not Nicasio.
Nice job by Colomé to get out of a little trouble in the 8th. 2-0 pitch, advantage Seager. Ball 3.
Scott Service has given him the green light to swing 3-0. Robles trying to keep the ball away from it, missing off the plate away. Ryan Healy waiting on deck.
Span's got good speed. He's at first. 3-0 pitch to Seager. And he'll take his base. Mariners with a real live threat here in the top of the 9th in a 3-3 ball game.
Ryan Healy has also hit the ball hard a couple of times. Charles Nagy out of the dugout again. Angels have one left-hander in their bullpen. It's Alvarez, and he's starting to get loose.
A 3-3 ball game as we play here in the 9th. Mariners building a threat, runners at first and second. And don't forget, you can get home field advantage on Silver Bullet Saturdays. Download the Coors Light Rewards app. Start earning points towards rewards like Mariners tickets and Coors Light gear while supplies last. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Good speed for the Mariners out at second base, and Denard Span. And Ryan has hit the ball hard a couple of times. 0 for 3 tonight.
For 1 against Robles. Great opportunity for him. Nearly 2 for 3 on Wednesday. Finale against the Giants with a home run. Go ahead run at second. Pretty much a pattern we see almost every day. Start him off with a pitch inside.
That's good fastball tonight. That fastball's at 97 miles an hour.
1-0 to Healy. 2-0. Chris Herman's on deck.
For Ryan, he likes the ball middle away. He can really get some extension. Look for a fastball out over the plate. Set up away.
Takes a strike, 2-1. The second strike thrown by Robles. Big pitch, 2-1. There's a drive, hooking foul.
They ended up getting a fastball at 96, middle in, and turns on it. This is looking for the fastball, barrels it up, but just out in front of it a little bit too much. He knew it, had a good pitch to hit.
Count goes to 2-2. Runners at first and second, top 9 in a 3-3 game.
He has not seen the slider yet.
Angels took a 3-0 lead in the second. Mariners got a run in the 5th, 7th, and 8th to tie. 2-2 pitch. Popped it up, out of play.
The fastball, his best fastball at 98.
Span and Seager, your Mariner runners. See if Healy can deliver here for the Mariners. The 2-2 pitch from Robles. And swing and a miss. He's gone, one down.
That was on the slider, and Mike Scioscia quickly out of the dugout. He's going to get Alvarez. Ryan, he saw 5 fastballs, and then the slider. Kind of backed up a little bit. Another look at it. The slider just kind of spinning, didn't have a lot of break to it.
Couldn't connect. Pitching change. Alvarez, Jose Alvarez coming on for the Angels. Mariners with runners at first and second, one down. Top of the ninth, Mariners trying to get the lead, get the ball to Edwin Diaz. Good pitcher for the Angels. It's their only left-hander in the pen, Jose Alvarez.
The veteran, average fastball at 92 miles an hour, slider changeup combination. A couple of lefties do it for the Mariners. Chris Herman, who came into the game. For the pinch runner, Andrew Romine, who was running for Mike Zunino, is due up, and then Ben Gamble will be on deck. So a couple of lefties for Alvarez.
Alvarez 4-3 this season, a 3.21 ERA in 52 games.
opportunities to hit with runners in scoring position tonight. The Mariners are 1 for 5. A couple of solo home runs. The one hit was by Heredia. That tied up the ball game.
Herman 1 for 2 against Alvarez. Mariners could use a knock right here. You got Span at second, Seager at first, and 1 out.
They're playing straight up. Started him with a slider.
Herman a 216 hitter. Homer, 2 runs batted in. Good stop by Bersinho. Alvarez out of Barcelona, Venezuela, 29 years old. 1-1. Off the foot of Herman. Ball and 2 strikes.
Staying with the slider. Hasn't seen a fastball.
Herman looking to deliver. He's spending time with Minnesota and Arizona before landing here with the Mariners this season. All in 2 strikes. Herman's best year in the major leagues. He had 284 for the Diamondbacks in 2016. Did that in 56 games. Last year he played 106 games, the most in his career, and hit a .181. Did hit 10 homers last year in those 106 games. Drove in 27, career best. 1-2. And that is gobbled up by Pujols. Limps to the bag. 2 down. Tough break for the Mariners. Runners do move up.
Well, he hits it hard, and it is right down the line. Albert, a step and a dive. Run well, but pretty good play right there defensively.
Leaves it up to Ben Gamble.
Yep.
Gamble came up rather large in the 8th inning after the leadoff double by Zunino. And Romine pinch running. Ben did what he had to do. He pulled the ball to the right side, moved the runner to third. Heredia with a blooper against a drawn-in infield. Able to get another run to tie it up. Now for the lead. Ben Gamble, 2 outs, runners at second and third. All 1.
Ben has a better idea. Pretty good take on the slider right there. He was watching the at-bat for Herman. Alvarez throwing a lot of sliders.
And 0 for 2 against Alvarez. Here's the 1-0.
Good pass at a fastball.
Looking for a base hit. Turn it over to Eddie D.
Makes the slider is close again.
2-1.
It's really important at bat. Houston has already lost. The A's have lost.
Opportunity. It's knocking loudly, isn't it?
Diaz ready to go in the pen.
I mean, everything you can want. Just get a base hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For a big hit here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, and takes ball 3. Inning started with a base hit to left. by Cruz, a walk, a strikeout, and a ground out. Second and third. Something's got to give right here.
It's interesting. Heredia waiting on deck. Nobody getting loose in the Angels' pen.
3-2 pitch to Gamble. Swing! Man, struck him out. Inning over. Mariners threaten, don't score. Leave 2. Bottom of the ninth coming up. Hold down the fort, get them into extra innings.
Mariners bullpen has been pretty good over the last 4 games, including tonight. Just 1 earned run in 12 2/3. Nicasio going to try to keep that going. 42 appearances, 50 strikeouts, just 4 walks, and 39 innings. Opponent's hitting .304 against Nicasio. His average fastball, 93 to 96 miles an hour with a slider.
He'll get Simmons, Kinsler, and Brasino, 6, 7, and 8. Anderson, Simmons, grounded out to Seager, took Heredia to the track, and grounded out to shortstop. Three for 9 against Nicasio. Seager guarding the line at third. Strike 1.
Starts him off with a slider on the outside corner. Look at the defense. D. Gordon playing up the middle. Filled straight away and deep. Kyle Seager on the line at third.
How about this? Simmons going to see a third pitch.
A couple of sliders. Haven't seen the fastball yet.
Off the end of the bat.
Another slider.
Nicasio in his last 5 games, 4 innings, 3 hits, a run, a 2.25 ERA. Ball and 2 strikes. Hanging up for Gamble. Right there.
sure how he was able to get the barrel to this fastball. It's up out of the strike zone. He just tomahawks it towards the left fielder.
He hit a home run against the Mariners on a similar pitch earlier this year. Brewers how about this one? Brewers to acquire Mike Moustakas from the Royals. Brett Phillips.
Simmons looks as if he's hurt with his back.
Because that swing was awkward, as you pointed out, right?
Brewers have a good club.
Nice pickup to get Moustakas. Kinsler. Fouls off the first pitch. Milwaukee started today 2.5 behind the first place Cubs. Braves. The Brewers lead at the Giants 3-1 in the ninth. Mariners were down 3-0 in the second inning. 2-run double by Calhoun, a sac fly by Fletcher. Fifth inning, a Zunino home run. Seventh inning, a home run by Nelson Cruz. Eighth inning, RBI single by Heredia. Ties it up. 2 to Kinsler's, walked and scored, struck out looking, and tapped back to the pitcher. One-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out for me nicely. 2-0 out. 2 away here in the ninth.
It looks as if he has a pretty good slider tonight. A lot of run to it. And that one well off the outside corner gets him to chase it. 89 miles an hour. His fastball's 94, 95 tonight. Romero Supermo. Good look at the spin, the rotation of the ball.
Senior tonight, base hit in the second and scored. Since then he's walked twice. Back up this way. Hey now, Jesus. Blew up my computer. Oh man.
That was pretty quick.
Hey, lying. Oh, for crying out loud.
Yep, it's done.
Oh, man.
It saved you, though.
Yeah, it did.
Unfortunately, look at that.
Come by, Dern. Oh, man. I mean, that's a direct hit, man. That was right here.
It was.
Holy Toledo. Of course, they get the replay.
You are out of the picture.
Amen, brother. Oh, I saw it coming, but I said, I'm going to save the body. I can get another computer. Good grief.
It's a good read, too. You went the right direction.
Yes,
and
indeed. Been around. I've played enough and been around it long enough to know. Time called. Go figure that. I mean, a direct hit, right? It did, JR. Dear Apple, thank you very much.
Oh,
man, that got Kerwin, didn't it?
Yep. Yeah, that took a bite out of him.
Big one.
Yeah, direct hit. A couple of catchers and a home plate umpire. All right, Kerwin, the veteran umpire. Foul tip just above the webbing.
Ooh.
Right on the collarbone. Was it Kevin Kremen a few years ago in spring training?
Direct hit.
Yeah.
I think it was
his
over in
computer.
Milwaukee. Was at Maryville.
Maryville, the Brewers.
I'm sure he's already texted me. Ha ha ha.
You were just talking about the Brewers.
Uh-oh. Not staying in the ballpark. Extra innings. Mariners 8-0 in extra innings this year. The Angels are 2-7. In Anaheim and make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag #RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find your fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan's going to win a Coors Light Yeti cooler just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. New pitcher, Jim Johnson, a veteran right-hander.
36 appearances on the year. He's pitched well, 3.62 ERA. 37 in the 30, has 32 strikeouts, 13 walks, and get wild at times. Given up 4 home runs this year. Fastball, curveball. Average fastball 93. Doesn't throw as hard as he used to. Still has a pretty good curveball though.
Here we go, extra innings.
Already looking for his 3rd hit.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. Drove in the tying run in the 8th inning.
Nice work by the Mariners to fight their way back into this game after falling behind 3-0 in the 2nd inning.
One of the things, or one of the advantages that they're going to have the rest of the way, is the Angels used up their one left-handed pitcher out in the bullpen. Makes things a little bit easier for the lefties in the lineup. D. Gordon waiting on deck.
19th year for Mike Scioscia. Starting tonight, a 500 team. 9-11 mark. Month of July. Fletcher giving some ground. Throws out Heredia.
Going to jam him with a fastball. Fletcher having a good night over at 3rd. Angels have played some pretty good defense this year. They're 4th in fielding percentage overall in the American League. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Both hits into left field. Extra innings this season. The Mariners 8-0. Angels have struggled at 2-7.
0-2 to D. There's base hit. His third tonight. Put him in gear here, right?
You would think so. If he feels that he can get a pretty good jump, he's going to run again. D. Gordon leads the American League in stolen bases with 23. This is on a curveball that he pulls through the right side of the infield. Segura, he's due 0 for 4.
We haven't said that many times
No.
this year.
No problem for D to get back. So he tries to get a little bigger lead this time.
I'm just trying to make it 9-0 in extra inning games this year. July 5th last year was the last extra innings loss. And that was against Kansas City. Diaz chased back.
No problem getting back. A little bigger lead that time. What a play. Just spiked a fastball and was able to pick it cleanly.
Jose Bursinho. Martin Maldonado had been the regular catcher for the Angels. There goes D. Got a good jump. Pitch fouled straight back.
He had that stolen. That was a good jump, high leg kick from Jim Johnson, the pitcher.
Runner goes. Throw from the knees, not in time. D. Gordon at second is going to get the third with one out. Here's the speed element. For D is 24th stolen base.
Stolen base E2 with him moving up to third, and because of the jump, he rushed the throw. It gets past the infielders and ends up at center field. Great situation for the Mariners.
Drawn in infield now. Favorable count here for Gene Segura, fourth leading hitter in the league. In tight, and Gene's aboard. So one out, runners at the corners. First walk by Jim Johnson. And Mitch Haniger is going to be the hitter. Hit by a pitch and 3 groundouts.
'67 RBIs on the year for Mitch.
Gordon at third, Segura good speed. He's at first. One out. Infield backs up. And Haniger takes a strike. Trying to get this lead run across. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Here comes Stees trying to score. He is in there.
Mike Sosha is going to take a look at it. I was surprised that he threw down to second base. With D at third, I thought that it would be a free stolen base for Segura, but they took a chance on the throw. You can see Kinsler, that is close.
It's real close.
Maybe the fingertip hit the front corner of the base. Kinsler, the veteran, charging the ball once he saw what D was going to try to do, and I haven't seen anything yet. The good news for the Mariners, he was called safe originally. See if this is a better look. It's hard to tell. Diving wide.
Like the fingers might have gotten in there.
I think his hand was on the plate looking at that right there. If you think about the timing of it all, he tags him just above the elbow,
yeah,
but I think his hand is probably in there. Primera super mode, diving.
Ooh, looks like he's out. He's
close.
out. He's out. Jeez. Tough, difficult take there. I like the gambling. I like the aggression by the Mariners. Kerwin Danley, the home plate umpire, and crew chief Ted Barry taking a look. Take a look. The corner of the plate next to the catcher's knee. They get contact there, and it looks like his hand is just short.
That's close. That is so close.
Wow.
Well, again, originally called safe.
Segura gets a stolen base.
Yeah, if they change it, Segura will still be in scoring position, but you'll have a couple of outs with Haniger.
Well, the verdict from New York looks like it's in. What do we have, fellas? Out. 4-2 on the putout. 2 outs here in the 10th. That is large. Still got a fast runner in scoring position in Segura. And they count 0-2 to Mitch Haniger. So 2-4-2. 2-4-2 on the putout. Fielder's choice allows the runner to second. Ball and 2 strikes.
Mariners looking for a clutch hit. 1 for 7 runners in scoring position tonight.
Check swing.
He ended up getting a piece of it about long.
Trying to come up big here. 1-2. Segura at second, 2 outs. Pitch from Johnson. Strike, 3 call. Threat goes by the wayside. Score tied at 3. D. Gordon trying to get home. Double steal action. Gene Segura, he's in there safely. D with the dive, and they reviewed it. Kerwin Danley originally called him safe. Checked in with New York, and they said they got him right there. Think of a threat by the Mariners, and they come up empty. And now we go bottom 10. It'll be Calhoun, Fletcher, and Ohtani.
Casio still in the ball game. This will be the 4th time for him. Pitched more than an inning.
Oh, brother. Deep drive, right center field. And the 5th walk-off this season by the Angels. Cole Calhoun has made a habit of it this last 3 meetings with the Angels to torture the Mariners, and the first pitch rides it out 4-3 final.
First pitch fastball in the middle of the plate that hits out. First loss for the Mariners in extra innings. They are now 8-1. So we just showed the play by D. Gordon at home plate, a close play, game of inches, and then the first pitch from Nicasio gets hit out of the ballpark.
That is a tough way to go. 8-11 now in the month of July. Can't capitalize on the Houston loss and the Athletics loss. We'll tee it up again tomorrow, 6:07 first pitch. Right now, Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines with Jen and Ryan Roland-Smith is next.